Did we really think that Mike Tomlin would walk away next year in 2024 or this season? Look, I know it was tough after the Bills loss, but did we really think that Mike Tomlin would walk away? G'day, guys. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. Bright and early for me, man. Just waking up here at 7:30 a.m. I know it's been a bit bare with content here, there, and everywhere, but I've been really busy doing some stuff in my, I guess, personal life and working. And I'll tell you what, the biggest challenge for me in growing this Steelers community and growing this channel will be the fact that I am 15 hours in front and 9 hours behind in the newscast or things that are happening. So some of my takes will be delayed. I thought about doing a podcast or a quick video about the 17 reserve future contracts that the Steelers had signed. But then after about 48 hours, like, well, it's just players on the roster now. And those guys, I wish them all the luck, but I didn't get time to do that. But right now, too, so some of my stuff, most of my stuff will be delayed from that perspective. And I appreciate you guys if you do stick with it, because there's going to be a few current themes, though, throughout the whole off season. That is quarterback play. Who's going to be quarterback number one? And I've said before in my previous video, and I've said it numerous times, that I'm on board with Kenny Pickett. I'm on board with Mason Rudolph if he comes back. They just need to cut Trubisky, and get rid of that, right? But there's a few things going to happen this offseason. That is quarterback play, free agent play, draft, all those kind of things. Who's going to be the OC? But there's also one big thing that there was a rumor. A rumor started around 2 weeks ago, and I can't stand how these rumors start. But it was around 2 weeks ago that they talked about that Mike Tomlin would leave and he'd need a year off to take time and be like a Sean Payton. Well, that's not the case. Mike Tomlin had a press conference yesterday, and he talked about a lot of things, including how they need to get better at punter, how they need to get better at the OC position, and how they're going to hire from outside, right? And Mike Tomlin is coming back next year. He talked to the players, and he's coming back next year or this year in 2024. I keep saying next year because it's only been, almost 3 weeks from New Year's. But next season, he's coming back. And also, there's now likely a chance that reported by which one is it? Reported by Jerry Dulac. Not that one there. My bad. This one. Reported by Jerry Dulac. After Mike Tomlin's press conference, the team president, Art Rooney II, told the Post-Gazette that Steelers plan to extend Mike's contract. Now, I'll say this. There are rumors out there, right? Tons of rumors about Mike walking away, about Mike Tomlin having his last season. And if you like him or you dislike him, and I'm going to go into a poll in just a minute. If you like him or dislike him, did we really expect anything different, right? The rumors come from shady sources, from beat writers who are, maybe on the bottom tier poll of ESPN, or sometimes they're the high prize guys trying to get clicks, and other times they're the Maddens of the world that push these things and say, I've got a source in the building that says this guy, that guy believes that Mike Tomlin's going to walk away. Mike Tomlin is in probably the best position in a very long time. He now has his chance to hopefully run it like his way. Near the end of the last few seasons, it was Big Ben, and Big Ben had his success. They always talk about Coach Tomlin's players with Cowher, and I think that narrative is stupid. But Big Ben had his success, and I kind of felt like we hold on to Big Ben a bit too long, right? But now this team is in that rebuilding stage or getting the pieces back together, and they still get into the playoffs, right? I know people don't like it, but we're still getting back to the playoffs and having a chance. Yes, on the other side, they've lost like 5 in a row, but now if Mike Tomlin signs a contract, which he's got for 1 year, the Rooneys might give him an extension, being like 3 or 4 years. Then he's got a real good chance to get this team back to the playoffs and play good football, like on defense, like on run the ball, because he now has a chance also to go and get a new OC. The Matt Canada stuff, I don't know if that was completely on Mike Tomlin, to be honest. I'm not in the building. I'm just a guy in my room talking Steelers. I don't know if that really was on Mike Tomlin about just keeping him. It felt like last year, he felt very frustrated in certain times. In his last press conference, Mike Tomlin felt a bit like relieved, like, oh, yeah, I'm kind of like glad, at the season, it didn't work out our way. We lost to the Bills game, but now I'm like, okay, let's restart again. A new fresh face, a new season to try and get back to the playoffs and go play that Steeler way. That's what it kind of feels like. Anyways, so I did see that that tweet there. So Mike Tomlin is planning to be extended his contract. Now, I'm not surprised. He's got this year in 24, and then also, hopefully, to me, I want to see him get a 3-year contract, maybe a 4-year contract, something like that. And then we'll see what happens next. Now, I did see some funny comments. I saw one funny comment from an angry fan, and you guys can have your comments too if you want to. I'm at the point, though, to me, I don't really understand why you want to keep riding fire Tomlin. You can if you want to, but at some stage for me, do we not just accept it? Like, fire Tomlin crowd has been going for 6 years. At some stage, do we not just accept it and go, he's our coach? You can't change it. I can't change it. Anyways, I saw the this angry Steelers fan on Twitter, and I won't do their name, but I saw this comment. It says, I'm planning or already having ended my 49-year fandom of the Steelers. Have fun never getting out of round 1 of the playoffs. He does have a point. It's very frustrating, very, very frustrating that for the last 5 times in a row, they can't get out of round 1 or the first playoff game they play, they've lost, right? It's been a very long streak. I understand that. I get that, right? But to cancel your fandom over it, not too sure if I get that. However, on the flip side, there was a commenter, and by the way, these are random people, just random people like you and me on the internet. So another random fan responded and said, he laughed out loud and said, "You, sir, are a bleep." Not a big fan of calling something that in when you're trying to make a point. Don't put someone down. Not a huge fan of that. So there's the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. Not a big fan of. However, I'm a big fan of the next sentence. It says here, 17 seasons, never had a losing record, and you want to leave. He says, bleep. As a Jets fan, what we would give to have what you all have over the course of your 49 years as a fan. Think about this, right? And I went on to the Jets. The Jets. All I know about the Jets is they won one Super Bowl in 1960 or something like that, right? So I went on to Pro Football Reference and New York Jets playoff history. They've been around for 64 years, 1960 to 2023. Their record overall is 428, 547, and 8. Their playoff record is 12-13. The Super Bowl's one appearance. And their all-time passing leader is Joe Namath, right? So a guy way back in the day. Now, they won the Super Bowl, if I scroll all the way down, in 1968. And that was versus the Baltimore Colts. How much has the game changed by then? 1968. And that's why I'm such a Mike Tomlin supporter, because he gets us into the playoffs. Not only as a leader of men, TJ Watt came out and said that in his contract, he would only sign back if Mike Tomlin was the coach. Cameron Hayward has now been defending him. Troy Polamalu has been defending him. Joel Warren came out and I think said a few words too. A lot of players have been sticking up for and supporting Coach T. So I would trust their comments, the players, more than fans saying fire Tomlin, right? If you want to say fire Tomlin, that's up to you. I actually think you're wasting your time and wasting your breath saying fire Tomlin, fire Tomlin. It's not going to get anywhere. He's going to receive an extension. He's going to get 3 years, something similar to that. They're going to go and find a new OC. They're going to bring some new OC staff in, and hopefully someone who I don't know any OCs. People ask me the question all the time, Mark, who are the OCs? No idea. All I know about the OC used to be a show on TV, like the original county, or what was it called? I don't know. The OC with Ryan and those dudes, like back in the 90s show. No idea. I don't know anything about the OCs. All I'm saying is Mike Tomlin will get a 3-year extension, and from a Jets fan saying it's been 49 years, like what we have, right? And from a Jets fan, the last time the Jets have made the playoffs was 2010. They won a wild card versus the Colts. They beat the Patriots. Then they lost to us in the conference championship game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, to my knowledge, that is when the Steelers went to versus the Green Bay Packers. I could be wrong, but I think that's right. 2010 conference, we win that game. We're going to versus the Packers, okay? So that was the last time the Jets had played in a playoff game, was 2010. That is 14 years ago. 14 years ago. And that's why I always say it's very hard to win a playoff game. It's very hard to win a football game. It's very hard to win. And I'm talking about like numerous things. Like there is 11 men on the field. There's 53 men that can get dressed. There's coaches. There's crowds. There's elements. There's weather. All these things. And for people to say to fire Mike Tomlin after the Bills loss, I find it kind of crazy. Right? It was really bad weather. They had the home field advantage. They were the better side. We were down to our last quarterback being Mason Rudolph. And I think he played well, but still, down to our last quarterback being Mason Rudolph. You got rid of your OC, and you probably shouldn't have had your OC into the season. So a lot of things going against Mike Tomlin. He had a chance, and also they let up 21 points. I'm not saying these are excuses, but football plays happen to football players. And a football game gets played out. That's why I find it funny where everybody wants to, or the majority wants to get rid of Mike Tomlin. But I just don't see it. It's hard to win playoff games. It's hard to win Super Bowls, right? We've won 6 out of 8. Mike Tomlin's won 1. He's been to 2. And he's also won 1 as a defensive coordinator. So there's no way that the Rooneys are going to fire Mike Tomlin until he wants to walk away. But I did ask you guys, and I'll leave with this point and let you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I did ask you guys in a poll, and I'll try and use these more in the future. I said, will Mike Tomlin be the Steelers head coach in 2024? I said, vote this, and I'll use an upcoming video. So we've got 361 votes, and 80% said yes. And the no was 12%, and 7% said unsure. Now, maybe the unsure of 7% was around those rumors where he could walk away, this, and this. Those rumors have now been squashed. Mike Tomlin said he's coming back to 2024. And then also, Jerry Dulac has reported that Art Rooney talked to the Post-Gazette saying they plan to extend Mike's contract. So at this point, you've had Mike Tomlin have squashed the rumors. Jerry Dulac has found out from Art Rooney that he plans to extend him. And that should be it. 2024 in a 3-year contract. Mike Tomlin will be the coach probably for the next 4 years, something like that. So I went to the poll and I got 81% said yes and 12% said no. And there's poll 2. This poll could also mean there's no real context. Like it could be like, would you like him to be there? I know it. There are fans out there, 35% say, I can't stand him. I'm moving away. I just don't like him. Fine. That's great. But there are also more of a silent majority that do like Mike Tomlin. Do you know what I'm saying? They do. Anyways, that's kind of my video take on today. I wanted to just talk about his extension, his role. And once we have that set, once we find that they extend Mike Tomlin for the 3-year contract, whatever it may be, and he's our coach, then you just got to start to fill in all the other pieces. That's quarterback, that's OC, that's getting back some players healthy, that's figuring out the DC as well. I don't know if the DC, if Terrelson, if he's coming back at his role. There are things moving around, and we're in the off season now. We're in January. We should be talking playoff football, but I'm pretty happy that they got this far. To be honest, I'm pretty happy they got this far, and that was a chance at the playoffs, even though they probably shouldn't have been there with how the team was going through the adversity by losing 3 games, and they won 3 games. Bit of hype, bit of chance, but they just fell short. And this is different to I guess the Jags game where they got blown out, or the Browns game. Something felt different where the team was buying in on the players that were like off the couch, like Eric Rowe or the Miles Jack. So there are a lot of injuries. They were banking on Rudolph. George Pickens and Deontay were talking about Rudolph highly, and there was some kind of like energy there to get behind our quarterback in our team. And Najee felt different. And some of the I guess the commotion in the locker room was settled down, and it felt like the players were all playing together, right? So you set that now. You go and get Mike Tomlin for the next 3 years. You go and get a good OC. You go to the draft. You draft a quarterback. You possibly try and bring back Mason Rudolph. You do that. If you do that, then things will start to fall. And then try and near next year, it's going to be a hard schedule. I think there's some tough teams we're facing, like Cowboys and Chiefs and stuff like that. But if you can win 10 games, 11 games, get to the dance, or even try and control your own destiny and win the division, even though it's a really hard division being Baltimore, Browns, and Bengals, that every single team since 1934 had a positive record in their division. So Mike Tomlin, he's doing okay. Imagine this team. If the Steelers were in the NFC South, we could win that division. And you'd have fans who'd be like, yes, Mike Tomlin rules. But we're in a very tough division, not only in the AFC, but also in the AFC North, where the Ravens are highly competitive. And the Bengals are on the up and up, much as I hate it. And the Browns are a good side, but keep making some silly mistakes with their quarterback play, right? And it all fizzled out with Jack Flacco. Anyways, long episode today, real long episode. All I want to talk about was this plan to extend Mike's contract as expected. Anyways, guys, I'll see you later.